Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the second episode of Remind Rewind. Thank you so much for joining us for a second episode. And I say us because it's not just me, your host, Jordan Klein. I also have with me Rene Floyd.
Hello.
Oh, yeah. Rene Floyd from the podcast Breakfast of Champions.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On it with a fellow bandmate of ours, Parker, or John Howard, or whatever the hell you want to call him.
Chef Parker.
Yeah. I'm like the tall guy with all the tattoos.
Yeah, that dude's amazing. I'm so glad that we got a chance to start that podcast. It's been kind of weird not playing in a band the past couple of months. And
we've had very few DJ gigs.
Yeah, and we haven't really been DJing a lot. So whenever he proposed that idea, I immediately bought all in, and it was just time to start the podcast for all of us. I think we had been kicking around ideas and have friends that have started podcasts and have had friends interview us for podcasts. And so something we've always been interested in, kind of wanted to dip our toe in. I know both of us listen to a ton of podcasts.
Oh, gosh. So, yeah, I got really heavy into it last year.
Yeah. So, yeah, just super happy with how things are going. We are going to drop our 4th episode this week. We've got a couple more in the can. We've got a few guests coming up on our podcast for the first time, too. So we're excited for that.
Yeah. I really wanted to have someone on soon because, especially you, because we have such a repertoire together. And, I mean, that's why, in case you guys don't know, we DJ together under the moniker Pop Boy, etc. We'll get more into that later. But, we're always feeding off of each other's energy, whether it's playing in a band together, DJing together. We're buds, so... Yeah. We know what's up. We know what's good.
Yeah, it's funny when we first started working together at Evoca, I think both of us just kind of like Spider-Man memed each other where we're like, is it you? Is it me? Yeah. Just because we love the same music and we were constantly like throwing on bands and songs that we liked and wanted to show each other. And for the most part, we, couldn't really impress each other because we both had heard everything. So we just became friends. And then,
right. I mean, we liked exactly the same music. And then I started liking everything that you liked that I didn't even know about, as far as like rap and hip hop and trap and all that jive.
Sure. Yeah. So
and now I love all of that stuff. So.
DJing's been fun with you. It's one of those things where, like you said, a lot of times people, we've worked together, we've played in bands together, we've DJed together. It's one of those things where, like you said, we kind of come as a pair most times. And,
right.
We like it. We designed
Package
it that way.
deal.
Yeah, we designed it that way.
Yeah.
Neither one of us wants to DJ for a solid hour straight, and so let's throw it back and forth to one another.
It's like, unless you move away, we're not going to be musically involved with each other somehow.
Yeah. And it's like we talk to each other every day, so it's like we can't have a secret band or like other DJ gigs and stuff like that.
I mean, my wife walks up and she's like, "Who are you texting, Rene?"
Yeah, same.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I mean, that's who I'm texting. Cool. Well, guys, tonight, this podcast is about movies, right? And like I mentioned in the one before, I'm just getting back heavy into watching movies. So, the way I talk about it is going to change. I want it to be more than just me saying, it's awesome or whatever. I'm just like, I'm really trying to get back into it and figure out, how to express these emotions and how to share with you guys, like capturing this like moment, what I'm saying? Like almost every movie I watch is going to be something I watched when I was growing up. So I'm like trying to, I'm trying to give you that, unlock that core memory, where you're like, where you can, kind of how we do when we make music, we want to connect. I want to connect with you on that way. And so I'm really working on getting better at that, but I'm so glad you guys are here tonight. We're going to be talking about High Fidelity.
Yes.
Yeah. One of my favorite movies. And as soon as I mentioned I was going to do it, well, Rene said, you got to have me on.
Yeah.
Because, we have many connections to this movie.
And so many more that I didn't even realize until I rewatched it last night.
Oh, really?
Like, oh, man, I forgot all about that. So
Cool. Well, let's get right into it. High Fidelity, in case you guys have never seen it, is a romantic comedy / drama, and it was released March 31st in the year 2000. In the year 2000.
Yeah. Did you watch it right away? Did you see it in the year 2000, or did you come to it later?
I think I came to it later, and I really thought about, like, did I read the book first? Did I see the movie first? I'm pretty sure I saw the movie first, and then I read the book very quickly after
Same.
watching the movie, because I went back and it was released in 2000. I probably didn't watch it until after that, a couple of years after that. But as soon as I did, my buddy Marcus was like, "It's a book." I'm like, "Oh shit, let's go to Barnes & Noble."
Yeah, I think I did the exact same. I came to it later. I didn't see it in 2000 because I was in 10th grade in 2000. So I don't think I was, growing up, we talked about it, similar Christian households, not a lot of rated R movies get watched in those types of situations. So I think I was an adult when I watched it as well. And just like you, when I was like, based on a book. And then you find out the same guy wrote about a boy and a couple of other books. So,
something else really popular.
So I did the same thing. Ran to the bookstore, grabbed my copy, and devoured that.
Yeah, so in case you guys don't know, also, it was a book before it was a movie, right? Yeah, it was a book before it was a movie.
Correct.
And we'll go into more details about the book later, but the movie stars John Cusack.
What a hunk.
Yeah, and one of my favorite actors ever, like every movie.
The coolest guy.
Dude, every movie he's in is just like the bomb. And his sister?
Mm-hmm.
Is she in it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And then Jack Black, who this was one of his first big roles, right?
Yeah, one of the first times I ever saw Jack Black, for sure.
And he was already doing like Tenacious D and stuff.
I guess so, yeah.
God, his character is so amazing. And then the other person I put down is Lisa Bonet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Talk about smoking.
I said, I wrote my note for Lisa Bonet is, for some reason, it looked like she was smelled in this movie. She's beautiful, but in this movie in particular, with all the glitter and the cowboy hats and everything, it just looked like a smelly situation, like patchouli.
Oh God,
you know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't mean like smelly bad. Just like there's just an odor that I can smell on the screen,
right,
when she comes on.
Right. I mean, yeah. So yeah, right here, the film is based on the 1995 British novel by Nick Hornsby. And then
any relation to Bruce Hornsby?
I don't know. No, he's Hornby. Sorry, Nick
That's
Hornby.
Why I said that.
And so the setting of his book is in London,
right?
And the movie is in Chicago,
right?
So the differences are there are some big differences in the book than in the movie, because the movie is based in London. And it's based around like London, or it's based around like, how would you say, British bands, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Britpop and like more indie underground stuff from overseas.
Wasn't it like Northern Soul too and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, right.
I think so.
And then in the movie they're in Chicago, and his name is Rob, which is different from the book. And in the book I remember he has like there's more about his parents. Like instead of just talking to his mom on the phone, like he hops on the train. And so like on the whole train ride, he's like thinking and whatnot. And then he gets to his parents' house and he's hanging out with there. So their relationship is a little bit like bigger, more a part of the book than in the movie where he's just talking to his mom and she's like, "Damn it, Rob."
I don't remember that, but yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. And so this movie, the summary is following a breakup with his most recent girlfriend, Rob. He recounts his most painful breakups, power ranking them almost like his favorite albums, seeking to find a reason for his failed romances. And this movie, just like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, is Rob breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Talking to the camera.
Just like your first episode.
Right.
Yeah. What a plot device to be able to... that's one of the things that, like, as a writer, I wish, like, before our songs, you could be like, "Hey, this song's about this.
Right.
Listen for this part." You know what I mean?
And the crowd's like, "Just get on with
Yeah.
it." They're like, "Just play a song."
Yeah.
Like, shut up.
It's almost like banter before a song, but yeah.
Right. Or I'll just end up saying something stupid like, this song's about me taking a bunch of drugs that one time. Here we go. Yeah. So, what's your like initial impression, or what's your like, I guess like going back now and watching it, and then maybe we'll talk about like, the past.
Sure. So when I put it on last night, the first thing that I thought about and remembered is a lot of movies from our childhood. You almost knew that the movie was going to be good simply from like the logo chyron and title screens.
Right.
And so we've kind of grown to this age where like there's so many production companies out there, and there's not like a standardized practice for credits anymore. Mm-hmm. And so we've kind of gone away from a memorable like opening credit iconic scene. So like, like Touchstone has the lightning that comes across the screen.
New Line Cinema. Paramount.
Yeah. So all the big, the MGM roar and the lady with the torch and Fox. Brum, bum,
oh yeah.
Brum, bum. That movie was gonna be high.
Yeah, you're like, oh,
you get goosebumps.
Yeah, turn the lights off
just from the title screen. And I think we've lost that, like the slowness of how things used to be, where we were so excited to see a movie that we were even excited to see like the loading, like the very first second. And so that kind of made me a little nostalgic last night, just seeing like the Touchstone logo, and like whoever did the audio editing and video editing, the first like downbeat of that 13th floor elevator songs hits exactly when that lightning bolt hits in the icon. Yeah. And it's just like they had somebody that took the time to care enough even about that. You know what I mean? And so it's like the little things like that like I go back and watch movies like we talked about, like VHS and DVD and stuff like that. And DVDs used to have menu menu songs and just different things. And so you
kind of a nightmare, but yeah,
you'd fall asleep on the couch and you'd hear that song 100 times in a row, just kind of keep coming over. But yeah, that was the first thing I thought. I'm sorry for peeking, but that was the first thing I thought, is the Touchstone logo with the lightning strike equals nostalgia.
Right. A lot of, let me mention real quick, like a lot of the like physical media nerd podcasts I listen to, like they always mention that, you know, like how much that just kind of brings that like feeling like right to you, and kind of like prepares you like, oh, get ready, like this is our thing. And everybody loves, that. And I think like there are some people still trying to capture that, but it doesn't hit the same way as it
the
used
one
to.
That I wrote down that you mentioned is Jordan Peele's Monkey Paw. If you've ever seen Nope or Get Out or anything that Jordan Peele, that should be a series in itself.
I know.
Getting
That's
to know
a new
Jordan
stuff.
Peele. But he has a very clear indicator of his production. It's a monkey's paw that's like kind of dripping blood, I think. But that reminded me a little bit that he is still kind of nodding to that sort of, ode to nostalgia and credits and that sort of thing. So that's kind of what that hit me right away, is that like movies nowadays are not as slow as they used to be. And the experience is a lot, going to Blockbuster, going to Best Buy, even whenever we were in like college, I think I got this at Best Buy for like $6 or $7 on Fridays.
Yeah, I probably got like a used Blockbuster copy.
Yeah, so that sort of thing is like now where like you just type it into IMDb and find out which streaming service it is, and then one click away you're just watching it, and so. Or
if you're like me, you scroll the Netflix menu for an hour before you decide, what you're actually going to watch.
Sure, that's your viewing pleasure, is the menu.
Yeah, no, like that's where we strayed away from it. I feel like, and that's what you're talking about too, like going to the store and picking something out, like it's not just this endless list. It's like, this is what you can choose from, and that's do it. And a lot too, with like taking the VHS out and putting it in, you have a certain amount of time, like before shit's going to start fucking happening. So like get your popcorn, turn the lights off, sit down. Like, you have like 30 seconds before there's either going to be previews or the movie's going to start.
For sure.
Like, it's time.
I also think that like they really nailed it with the transition to the like the record store in Chicago and all that sort of thing, because I think that if they had picked any other media or any other like type of store, like it would have been so anachronistic that it wouldn't have standed the test of time.
Right.
Say for instance, had they done a Blockbuster, you know what I mean? Like kids today would be like, "What's a Blockbuster?"
Yeah. Or like a Virgin Mega Store or something.
Right,
like,
right.
No.
We still have Panther City, like right here.
Which is
we still have Docks. We have like
it's
all
the same
this.
thing as those.
Yeah,
it's a bunch of
and
old nerdy guys that like know way too much about music.
So that kind of a 23 or 22-year-old movie or whatever, still standing the test of time, still could happen today.
Right.
There's still people collecting records. There's still high cost items for people that are obsessed with certain things.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm trying to make a living off of, reselling. You try to find that grail and get it to the person that wants it, but it's going to cost you.
Yeah, so I went to Panther City today and I asked for Dijon Absolutely.
I ordered it.
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah.
Next door?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny because he was like, did you order it already?
No, that was me.
That's funny. So I was like, no, I don't think that was me. I was like, it might have been Rookie because we had talked about both of us liking that record or whatever. But that's funny. He ordered it for you, and now he ordered me a copy today.
Yeah,
too.
I called on the phone and ordered it.
That's
I called and I was like,
hilarious.
hey, what's up? I'm like, oh, is this Dan? Yeah, I need to order this record.
That's funny because Ted was like, did you talk to Dan about this already? I was like, no. He was like, I'm looking in the cart and there's one in there already.
That
I was
was
like,
me.
well, add another one, dog.
Yeah, that was me.
That's funny. We both ordered the same record.
I know, right? Well, they can't find it online.
I can find it on Discogs, but
Yeah,
it's one of
no,
those
I'm
things
not
you're
buying
gonna
shit
gamble.
off
But, yeah.
Discogs.
But the very next thing is like, you don't have any McGee, right? Because that one on Discogs is like $200.
Yeah. Which is crazy because it was $50 on his website.
I know.
And that was in February. And like, I don't even know if those people on Discogs have their actual record.
I've only seen a couple on eBay that say in hand.
Oh, in hand. So they got it.
Yeah,
Because
they
it was
have
on
it.
pre-order in like February 9th for $50 and now.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know who we're talking about two of the greatest musical artists that are out doing their thing right now, Dijon and however you want to say it. I say McGee.
McGee. It's pronounced McGee. He has it on the record.
Yeah, pronounced McGee. MK.GEE.
Right.
These guys are, oh my God, amazing. So amazing.
Yeah. So I think that that was the first thing. And then the other thing, obviously, the reason we're here talking together is because when Dick comes in, he brings up the Licorice Comfits album, Pop, Girls, Etc. And that kind of is where that is straight up and down where we ripped off our DJ name, Pop Boy, Etc. It's the reason that like we call ourselves that is directly from this movie. And so whenever you were like, I'm going to do High Fidelity, I'm like, not without me or not.
Right.
Because we've been Pop Boy, Etc. for like the last 10 years or so now. So
yeah, I think it's 10 years.
I think it's 10 years.
Because we started in 2014.
Yeah.
A couple years before Hank was born. When was Rhodes born?
Oh, he's going to be 10 this year. So yeah.
Dang. Yeah. I mean, wow. We were like, ooh, man.
Yeah, because when Rhodes was born, I quit my job and then started working at Avoca.
Right.
And
then we were like, we got to start
We gotta
DJing
DJ.
tomorrow.
we found Serato and the game was over.
Right.
So I don't want to keep talking on your podcast, but those are my two first thoughts. Is that
that's
the slow nostalgia of it all, and then also just where we kind of personally get our tie to this movie.
Right. So let's talk about I guess like the main theme and like the character development as far as like Rob goes, maybe like his girlfriends or whatever.
Yeah, let's do that. So power ranking your girlfriends is a crazy thing. But I think it's also a very male or masculine thing, and that's one of the things that like I think Catherine Zeta-Jones, like, again, talk about breaking the fourth wall. She's basically like saying you're living, you're going through this midlife crisis where you have to like relive all of these things to kind of validate what happened or you know yourself or whatever. But it's a very masculine thing to like, you don't see a whole lot of girls like thinking about exes in that way or like longing for an ex or whatever.
And I mean, speaking of girls and thinking that way, they did make a television or a Hulu show of this with a girl. Right.
It was like a shot for shot almost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did she power rank her boyfriend?
I think she did. Yeah.
But still, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. That and like, I don't know if she was 100% straight. I think she might have been bi, and then she power ranked both sexes. So I don't know if that's on her. But the tie there is that it's Lisa Bonet's daughter.
I know.
Yeah. So
that
that's
is so
cool.
Crazy.
Do you have any of like memorable breakups, or that you want to share on a podcast?
My God, my wife would kill me.
Yeah, I really don't have any memorable ones where I was like crying in the rain.
Okay,
that
was before I met my wife.
Yeah.
I had that.
Yeah, you had crying in the rain times?
Oh yeah, it's like standing in the middle of the street, just like crying.
Wow.
Yeah, like on something probably. Yeah, I remember because it was New Year's, and I partied with my friends, and like we're gonna have a good night. We're gonna make you feel good. And then like my work friends came and picked me up later. My work friends that I worked in the restaurant with.
Oh yeah.
Later. Yeah. And we partied all night, and I slept on my friend Jeff's couch, and I woke up and I was just like, I don't feel any better. Everything sucks. And his roommate was playing the song Long December by Counting Crows on repeat.
Why?
I don't know.
Was it a loading screen for a DVD?
No, it wasn't.
A menu screen for
I told him, I was like, turn this shit off. And I straight up just I was a long way away from my house. Didn't have my car. I just got up and left. And I was like, I'll figure it out. I'll just start walking. But yeah, it was a bad breakup. It was bad. And the Thanksgiving before that, she took me to her parents' house, like out in the middle of nowhere. And I was just like, why am I here? And she's like, I don't know. Why are you here? I'm like, but you brought me. And it was horrible. And it was the worst because I couldn't go home and spend the holiday with my family. I was stuck with her at her parents' house, and we knew like we were going to break up.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah.
I think the one that like was embarrassing for me one time is I had I think I was like a freshman in college. This is before I had gotten married for the first time. I had this girlfriend, and I was like really into her. She was older than I was. I was a freshman. And so my family used to do a thing where they would write a family update at Christmas time and send it out in the Christmas cards, and then it'd be like, "This is what we've been
like
up
not
to
in an
this year."
email, like legit.
Yeah,
written.
like they would write it out and print it out and send a copy in each of them. So all the family would kind of get the update for like what they were doing that year. But this year was the first year that I like didn't wasn't there to contribute, and so I decided to. I think I wrote my own, or I sent my mom and dad my own paragraph or whatever.
Yeah, are you talking about when you were at DBU?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I definitely mentioned this girl, like, "Hey, I'm dating this person. Things are going really well." Blah 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 blah. And then like before they even got the letter, she broke up with me.
You're like, disregard that message.
And so like, yeah, it was like, and then I would go home to visit, and they
and everyone was asking,
like, "Oh, so is this?" Or if I brought another girl to visit, they'd be like, "This is this person." And you're like, "No." So it was like awkward.
She's gonna pinch me later.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that was an embarrassing one, but I think it was just one of those things where like you're young and you don't think it through. You're like, "Oh, I'll just update my family and what I've been doing," not thinking like, "Oh, you're probably gonna break up with this person, and it's not a permanent situation."
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right. Like I'm not gonna lie, and my wife already knows. Like I dated a lot of girls.
Oh yeah.
So there was always someone coming and going.
Wow.
Because I was one of those people that always wanted to be in a relationship or whatever. So
you had to be taken.
Yeah.
You couldn't be alone.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried it with the dudes a couple of times, like when I was living with Maddie B and them in Austin.
Hey, yo,
but
pause, dog.
No, not that kind of tried it with the dudes. I tried just kicking it with the dudes and not having a girlfriend.
Yeah, I feel you.
But then I'd be like texting someone the whole time. Like a friend.
Yeah, you're sad boy clique. You always have to be like
just emo forever, dog. Still emo.
Yeah. Speaking of emo forever, did you know that the proposal scene was filmed at the Rainbow?
The Rainbow. Oh, like Tim Kinsella's Rainbow?
Yeah.
What?
I didn't know that. I didn't know that either. So when he proposes to his girlfriend and she's like, "What do you want me to say?"
Yeah.
That's at the Rainbow.
Oh my God.
So another tie to like me and you's like Mike Kinsella, Tim Kinsella, because he like mentions like my brother, the bartender. I go there and I drink for free.
Yeah.
He says the Rainbow and another, and then his brother worked there. So yeah. So I think it's cool that High Fidelity and emo go hand in hand. The other cool thing that I saw was on Barry's flyer whenever he is trying to get a band started.
Right.
He mentions influences. And one of the influences he mentioned is a band called Palehead. And that was actually an Ian MacKaye band.
Oh,
and so like a Fugazi and,
yeah,
that sort of thing. So,
cool.
And then lastly two more things emo wise. The song that they're arguing about, number 4 with the smile.
Yeah.
That band.
Belle and Sebastian?
No. When she's singing the cover, and they're like, number 4 with the smile.
Yeah,
like,
she really gave it
number 4. He was like, he's like, you are wrong. And that part.
Yeah.
That band had another name before they became He Is Legend. So they are arguing about a He Is Legend, like post-screamo song. So I think that's hilarious. And then lastly, Ian Williams, who is a member of Dan Caballero.
Yeah. And Battles.
Is a customer in one scene.
That's right.
So it's like,
holy shit, I totally forgot.
I know.
About
So it's
that.
like all these like little emo Easter eggs just for people that like really like know about emo music, but also Chicago. I mean, that's the thing is like
Sub Pop.
Yeah. Well, no, Sub Pop Seattle. I'm talking about Chicago. I'm talking about Polyvinyl.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. No. And just,
shout out to Polyvinyl.
Yeah.
Hey, look, you guys used to send me a bunch of like street team stuff back in the day. And that stopped maybe like 20 years ago, but you can keep doing that. Like, just send me all of the releases. Like, I will tell my friends about them. Were you on the street team? Did you know about that?
Yeah, no, you told me all about that, but I wasn't on it.
Yeah, I was on. So they would send me promo posters. This is Polyvinyl Records. You guys check them out. They're still around. They put out Owen stuff, Mike and Sella from American Football. Yeah.
Owls. Joan of Arc.
Yeah, Birthmark. Just
Rainer Maria.
Oh my God, yeah. The list goes on and on. But they used to have I was on their Dallas street team, so they would send me all these promos to put up at the record store and flyers for shows that were coming up. And any show that was happening, they would put me on the guest list.
That's what's up.
So I saw that's why I saw Mates of State 8 times or whatever. I got to see Of Montreal and just whoever was coming through.
For sure. Also, couple of things that I didn't know if you knew. I wrote this down. Did you ever watch the deleted scenes on the DVD? Speaking of physical media,
possibly,
okay.
But I don't have it on DVD right now. I only have it on VHS.
So Beverly D'Angelo,
is
a wife that calls in and offers her husband's record, his single collection.
Oh, right.
And so Rob actually takes the train out to this really dope mansion.
Yeah.
And she's there and she pulls out these 2 huge cases of 45s and they're just all amazing records.
Grails.
And she wants $50 for them. And so, I think they should have kept that scene in.
Okay, see, I'm sitting here thinking I remember that scene.
No,
but it's not
a deleted scene.
Yeah, I definitely remember that.
Yeah, so they should have kept that scene in. And also I wanted to know, do you think that those records were real or props for that movie?
Oh, my God. Probably props.
I think so, too.
The record store, though, are most of those, at least the ones in the very front are real. It's probably crap behind that, but... and I wish I remembered. I think you see an Aphex Twin cover in the background or something like that.
I think so, yeah. The other thing I wanted to ask you is if you saw why Tim Robbins decides to take small roles in films like this.
No.
So I read an interview that he stated he took the role in this film and another film. I can't remember which, but he writes in his contracts for these small roles that he gets to develop a very ornate wig.
Really?
And so for the most part...
So it's all for the ponytail?
It's all for the wig.
Oh my
because
God.
he also writes in his contract that he gets to take them home after he's done filming.
What the fuck?
So he doesn't get paid very much, but he writes in this, and he says that he uses them for Halloween costumes and stuff like that.
Oh my!
So Tim Robbins still has the ponytail. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. Also, I never knew this until last night, but they apparently were trying to make it very obvious what Rob's top 5 records were by placing them are you talking
about top 5 side 1, track 1, side 1?
No, his favorite records, period.
Oh.
Because
by placing them around.
By placing them around his house. He would only have his top 5 records displayed.
Right.
Everything else is on the shelf.
Right.
So
except when he's organizing them in
they're all compressed.
Autobiographical
order. Yeah. So
one of my favorite scenes too.
I'm about to read you in no particular order Rob Gordon's top 5 records.
Okay.
Maggot Brain by Funkadelic.
Oh my God! You know who showed me that record? Jake Palachek.
Really?
At Avoca, he was like, "We're putting on the whole record and listening to it," and the customers are like, "What the hell is going on? How stoned are these two baristas?" And we're like, "We're very stoned right now.
Very
actually.
stoned.
We're
And
listening to
then-
Maggot Brain."
And then Childish Gambino ripped off Maggot Brain big time.
The cover or the whole?
The cover and most of the record.
the guitar solos and all that.
Yeah, like the Bootsy Collins-esque bass.
Yes.
And like the
God, that record is
high pitched singing and fomenting his voice up to that level, but
Yeah.
he sings that live. Anyway, Maggot Brain, Funkadelic. Secondly, Tonight's the Night by Neil Young.
Okay.
Not a huge Neil Young fan, but
What songs are on that besides Tonight or whatever?
I don't even know, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I
my
didn't do
dad
that
would
much
know.
research yet. Moving along, Wild Honey by the Beach Boys.
Okay.
I thought that was an interesting choice considering Pet Sounds is like considered the best one. Or
Well, yeah, that's like the
Smile
popular
or whatever.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we'd choose like a lesser known one.
Goo by Sonic Youth.
Okay.
And then lastly, Double Nickels on the Dime by Minutemen.
Wow.
Yeah. So what a very cool, like diverse little treat to find out where kind of Rob Gordon's brain was
Right.
character wise. So
Wow.
I didn't know that till last night. So
Yeah.
I think also I just wanted to tell a funny quick story if I could.
Well, I was gonna say,
Yeah, go.
what are his? Well, we'll talk about the top one side ones. What are
Alright.
his like fucking Beethoven's fucking Fifth Symphony?
Nirvana Smells Like Teen Spirit. Never mind.
Oh,
John
did you-
Cusack went to Evanston Township High School in Chicago, in the Chicago area.
Oh,
And I had this idea for this like pop punk band for a while, and we were called Evanston. And
from
like,
that, like 'cause-
because John Cusack went to Evanston High School, and I
Right.
thought that would be cool just to like. Also, do you remember like the Bayside Tigers, the logo for like Saved by the Bell? It was like the maroon.
oh yeah.
So Evanston had a tiger like that too, and so I designed the logo as like Evanston High School,
Oh,
and it
shut
looked like a Bayside, but it was like John Cusack's actual high school. So, anyways, the reason that I brought that up is because the little black book that he uses to keep all of his girlfriend's numbers in
Right.
was his actual book from high school, because it was like
Whoa.
required to have that black book in the high school that he went to.
Whoa. So he
Craziness.
probably had girls' numbers in there.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Yeah, writing down girls' numbers is the worst because you can lose that number. I don't know if I ever told you, but I lost Courtney's number, my wife,
Dude.
for like 2 months.
No way.
I swear. I lost it. Couldn't find it.
How'd you lose
Tore apart the fucking... Because I wrote it on a piece of paper. And just like, I don't know. It was gone.
Yeah, dude. Paper used to dissolve in jeans whenever they were super
Oh my
skinny,
God.
the way that we used to wear them back in the day.
Yeah.
Like you just get a little tiny bit of a sweat on, and then all of a sudden your paper is like bleeding ink.
Yeah, don't
You're
put
like,
your
cool.
L in that pocket.
So how weird is it to watch a movie and see people smoking indoors?
Oh my
places?
God. Yeah. I mean, you can just smell it.
The last time you and I had like access to a place where people were smoking indoors was probably the chat room, like
The
10,
chat room.
10 years ago or
Yeah.
so.
Or the boiled owl.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy to see people smoking indoors? Not only that, but later on in the film, you see him actually smoking in bed.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
we used to be so reckless with
Yeah,
cigarettes.
I did that.
Yeah.
There were nights where I would wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh, I'll just have a smoke and go back to sleep. God.
Smoking indoors is fucking nuts.
Yeah, it's
dude.
crazy.
It is nuts to think that we used to just basically just light up anywhere and everywhere we were.
Oh, God.
And like, that's crazy now.
Yeah.
I thought that was crazy. What are your top 5 records to play on a Monday morning?
Oh,
Speaking
my
of Jack
God.
Black's amazing entrance into this film.
On a Monday morning? Oh, my God. You've got to put me on the spot.
No, you don't have to. You can think about it. You can think. We can come back.
All right,
to
I'll
it.
think about it.
Top
Top 5 side one track, so, you know.
Have you done that? I haven't done that.
I haven't written it down,
So
but I can
wrote
probably
down
do
all
it.
of the top 5s in the movie. I can run through them real quick if
Yeah,
you want
let's
me
do
to. Top 5 memorable breakups. Top 5 recording artists. Top 5 records to play on a Monday morning. Top 5 crimes perpetrated by Stevie Wonder in the late 80s and 90s. Also, top 5 side ones, track ones, which you mentioned. Top 5 dream jobs. I've always wanted to do that one. Top 5 dream jobs.
I mean, mine would be record store number 1.
Exactly.
Like, I don't even have to think about it.
Top 5 things I miss most about blank, not necessarily Laura. Top 5 songs about death. I want to do that one too. And then top 5 favorite records. And that's when he made the mixtape for Laura at the end.
And top 5 track 1 side ones.
I already said that. I said top 5 side ones. I said you already mentioned that. Did you ever get into that website called 8 Tracks? Do you remember that? So this, again, speaking of a movie that kind of like stood the test of time, but just the fact that like mixtapes and like making someone a tape and like Spotify playlists just don't hit the same.
Yeah.
But
it's either shuffle or no shuffle.
Or like,
and that's why I usually justify it. I'm like, hey guys, here's a playlist, shuffle.
Or like if you just like make someone a tape but don't have like anything like really listed, so they have to like go on the journey of listening to the tape to find out what's on the tape.
Oh, and then pausing it, and then when you come along, they're like, "Hey, listen, who's this?" Yeah.
Stuff like that was fun.
I did that. I definitely did that.
And I think that like that's one thing that maybe like a younger generation watching this movie is like the importance of how important a good mixtape is for somebody, right. Especially like a girl or a boy or a they them that you're trying to impress. But 8 Tracks was this website that came along in like the early 2000s.
Like the MySpace days?
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. And legit, it was like you could type in a song and it would like scrabble their database to see if they had it. And then you could like basically just like build an 8-track playlist and then send it to somebody.
Oh my God, that sounds awesome.
And so, so that was a fun way to kind of like make playlists before like, Spotify kind of took over and everybody's making
Apple
their own playlists
Music
and stuff
or whatever.
like that. But yeah, do you still have any mixtapes?
Yeah, I do. I have some that I made. I have one that my friend Katie made me. Shout out Katie. I know you listened to the first episode. Miss you and your husband Peter. Her husband, I used to play music with her husband.
Oh, okay.
He was in Constance.
Oh, okay.
They live in Lawrence, Kansas, where all the cool bands are from.
Yeah.
She made that for me. This was a mixtape that she made for me, drove to my house, and dropped off in my Jeep the morning of September 11th, 2001.
That's nuts.
For my 17th birthday.
That's crazy. Yeah, your birthday's 9/11.
Yep.
Never forget.
And then I have some tapes where I like recorded the songs off the radio.
Yeah.
And I have them labeled.
I wish I did. I know of all of the tapes that I made. I just know that I'm not a very sentimental person, and I'm always like, I don't want this, and I throw it away, and then I later regret it. Like I gave you a bunch of my band T-shirts
that I still wear.
Yeah. And like I just go through phases where I'm just like, I'm not this person anymore, and I just like get rid of stuff. I do have one mixtape that my friend Jacob Shelton made me for my birthday, and he's awesome dude. Always again like that thing where like you're just showing people new music and you always are like, oh, this is so good. But yeah, we would share burned CD mixtapes.
Oh yeah. That's where I got
CDR Johns.
Yeah, that's definitely where the more giving it to a girlfriend kind of thing happened.
For sure. Yeah. Draw a little picture on it with a Sharpie.
Oh my God. Yeah, writing on it.
Yeah. To someone from Jordan.
Yeah,
I would never from your gummy bear.
Oh my God. Yeah, gummy came later, but yeah, it would be Jordan. But I never like wrote the songs because my writing was terrible. So yeah, you'd have to be like
a journey. Yeah.
Yeah, like what was track 8?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's Further Seems Forever.
Yeah.
New Year's project.
The Kinky Wizards, is that the greatest fictitious band name ever?
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, I have a couple that I've come up with, but yeah.
I meant in popular media.
Oh, yeah.
Fictitious in popular media.
Yeah.
Not like the Wonders, the Oneaters.
Oh, yeah. Or what was the dude's band from Lost?
Oh, I didn't watch Lost.
Oh.
Allie gets on me all the time because I never watched Lost.
Yeah,
it's
they
one
have
of her
like
favorites.
a funny band name.
And then like... what was Saved by the Bells band?
Oh my God. Ooh.
The Jam or something like that. It was something crazy.
Stupid.
Yeah. Somebody will comment on this episode.
Hey, speaking of that, if you guys have a comment, if you have a question, if you have a movie request that you would like me to watch, email me at remindrewindpod@gmail.com. Or, I mean, if you're one of my friends, you know how to find me on the social medias or whatever. And if you guys are listening to the playlist, I mean, at least I know how to do this from Spotify. If you're listening on Spotify, you go to the top to About. You can click on that, and it has on each episode, it'll have links to all my stuff. Talking DJ mixes, Instagrams, all that jive.
I'm gonna stop talking and let you talk since it's your podcast.
Okay. Well, let's do top 5 track 1 side 1.
See, I'm not good with that.
Okay. Well, I'll do my track.
Hold on. Yeah, you talk for a second.
Okay. I'm gonna do my track 1 side 1, and okay. So first track 1 side 1, which God, it's just I mean, I have the name of the song tattooed on my arm, so my number 1 track 1 side 1 would definitely have to be "Never Meant" by the band American Football, who we all hold so dear. Maybe the greatest emo band of all time. That would have to be my favorite. The first song on their self-titled album that was released in 1999, American Football, LP1, whatever you want to call it. Track 1, side 1, "Never Meant." I mean, easily one of the greatest. And then honor. I mean, I won't go through the whole list, but I will say that one, and then honorable mention, I will say another emo record that you have tattooed on you. Is Further Seems Forever from The Moon Is Down, track 1, The Moon Is Down.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I do have some in mind. Sorry.
And that is, yeah. So I have an American Football tattoo, and you have a Further Seems Forever tattoo.
Sad boy click for life.
Yeah.
I just thought about what is the McGee's first song? Is it New
Low?
New Low.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great opening track for that album.
It does. It really gets you into the vibe of the album.
It's not. It's the most subtle track on the album, in my opinion.
Besides the slow ones, is what I call them.
But yeah, I think that's a great for like a new one for like, because we were just talking about how we're like favorites on that one. But also I thought of an interesting one is the on Deftones on White Pony, when they made them to record that single that was supposed to be like radio or like MTV video friendly or whatever, Back to School.
Yeah.
And how they hate that song, and how that, like, I was such a little poppy kid, and I thought that was such a great song. So like I really loved Back to School. I love the video.
Oh my
on
God,
White
the
Pony.
video's amazing.
Yeah, so that's one of my favorite track 1 side 1s of White Pony, Deftones, Back to School. Let's see. I'm trying to think of like my favorite records of all time. I have so many that it's just so hard. I mean, it's like what, and it's exactly like he says in the movie, and like top 5 records to drive to, top 5 records to like, listen to, on we started a thing called Mondays or Emo Mondays.
Yep.
And so I was going to bring that up whenever I asked you about, I tend to listen to kind of sadder music on Mondays, I think. And so, like you said, Further Seems Forever, The Moon Is Down is a good track 1, side 1, pre-Dashboard Confessional, Chris Carrabba, and just about the tightest emo band that you could ever ask for in Further Seems Forever.
Definitely. Yeah, just a couple. I mean, I always go back to the emo albums.
Yeah,
and that's hard. But I mean, as far as like newer stuff goes, I would say I really love the track, the first track on Hanging Gardens by Classic, and I think the song is called Hanging Gardens.
Okay.
And it's just really slow at the beginning. You kind of hear them like mulling about in the studio and like clicking and kind of things, and then it just like goes into it. Mm-hmm. And if you never heard that song, it is the first song on the mixtape Waves of Emotion that you could find on the Pop Boy Etc. SoundCloud.
That's good. That's really good. I was thinking about Nikes by Frank Ocean. That's on Blonde, and that's kind of an interesting way to start that record as well.
Right. You remember the Frank Ocean text I sent you the other day?
Yeah.
It's like, why does it take me so long, years, to understand rap lyrics and what they're actually talking about?
I think you're just such a fan of the beat and like the vibe of it all that you're not really paying attention. You're just like, yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, wait, did you know that this is like, yes, C on both sides like Chanel. He says it
in the song.
Like, oh, okay, wow.
lastly, I have here. I don't know if you recently saw that Nickelodeon documentary.
I did. The bad one?
Behind the Curtain.
Yeah.
Well, Drake Bell is young Rob in that movie.
Holy shit, that's right.
Yeah, so kind of like, and what's weird too is like now that you know,
like when he's kissing the girl underneath the stands.
Yeah, he plays. And so now that you know that like Drake Bell was like kind of probably going through some of that crazy dark stuff during that time, kind of taints that movie now looking back a little bit of like poor Drake Bell.
Yeah, they made
you know what I mean. They made him
out
like,
with this girl.
Yeah, like maybe he didn't even want to make out with that chick. You know what I mean? Yeah, and so like I look back on movies like that and I'm just like weird.
Yeah.
Jack Black and Joan Cusack.
Yeah, let's talk about Jack Black for a minute.
Yeah, let's do that.
I mean, just as soon as he walks into the record store in one of the first scenes in the movie, you know that he's just going to be this fucking tornado of a human being.
I have a theory about people like that. It's like they come in eras, you know what I mean? Like Jim Carrey was like that for a lot of our childhood.
Right.
Where like the second he comes on screen, it's like, boom, I'm kicking down the door and everything's going to be hilarious anytime that I'm there. I think Farley was like that for a while.
Oh,
you know what
wow.
I mean?
Yeah.
And I think Jack Black's like that. Any movie that he's in, he's just so kind of undeniable, you know, with like his sheer like energy level.
Yeah, and he could sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a force.
Yeah,
very
so
funny.
in case some of y'all don't know, Jack Black, you know, his newest thing is probably being the voice of Bowser and singing the Peaches song. Peaches. That's it.
And also Kung Fu Panda.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously. Well, they got a new one of those coming out.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you should probably have a Jack Black episode. Just nothing but everything Jack Black.
Yeah, School of Rock, one of the best movies ever.
Which ties in Joan Cusack, who's
Right.
also in that movie with him. Yeah, so Jack Black and Joan Cusack are in School of Rock, which is another just amazingly cool movie. I think... No, I don't want to misspeak, but yeah, that's
what
a
about
great
the
movie.
director?
Yeah.
Mike, what's his name? Not Mike Judd.
White.
Mike White.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Jack Black and Mike White.
Oh, yeah. He did something really...
He wrote the movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And he writes a lot of movies. He actually just won.
And he's Ned Schneebly.
Yeah, and he just won an Oscar either last year or the year before.
Wow.
Yeah, I just saw him get his Oscar.
Still making that
Yeah.
money.
So Jack Black's entrance is iconic. He just kind of bursts through the door, plays Katrina and the Waves, Walking on Sunshine, and plays it as just loud as possible, and just like his general demeanor and sarcasm. It's one of those things where like is very timely for our generation. I probably wouldn't go over well with this younger Gen Z or
Right. I feel like that's who I used to be when I drank.
Jack Black.
Yeah. Just coming into every room being like, hey guys, watch me do something stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also like being so self-assured of your body, and even though you're not like the typical body form,
Right.
like even in this movie he comes in, he's dancing and he's like gripping stuff, and you know, he's doing the whole like Marvin Gaye at the end, and he's just like spinning, and like he's very nimble for being like a bigger gentleman, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just funny to see a guy that can really embrace like the big side and be sexy and funny and a leading person even, you know. He went on to be in The Holiday, where he's like a romantic comedy, and he's just like a leading man and almost, you know, opposite of Kate Winslet there. But yeah, I love this movie so much. There's so many cool things that I think of. Looking back, I think Catherine Zeta-Jones really annoys the hell out of me all throughout that movie.
Right.
And like when I was younger, I thought she was like kind of cute, but I think it was just because like it was leftovers from Zorro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like I've watched that movie and I'm like,
timeless beauty
oh
for
my
sure.
goodness, she's just so annoying.
Yeah. I never dated those girls for very long.
Yeah, no.
Plus I wasn't hot enough to, so.
And I think that's the other thing that brings me to is like never feeling cool enough equals not cool. Like just that state of like not feeling that you're cool enough, or like not fitting in.
I'm not cool enough.
I'm not cool enough.
Reference to
School of Rock. Yeah. But I think that is like the ultimate not cool feeling, and I think that going back to Jack Black, he embodies like no matter what, he feels cool enough. You know what I mean?
No fucks given.
And that's kind of what makes him cool. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Is that like he's just like, whatever, I'm about to blow your mind with this music, whatever.
Right, a
you
little
know?
Latin loopy loo.
The Drider and the Detroit Wheels.
No.
Are we gonna get in trouble for quoting all of the quotes?
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, I don't. I hope not. I want to play clips from the movie, but I'm still trying to figure out the copyright infringement and whatnot on that. So,
Did you ever think that Dick looked like David Hyde Pierce,
wait, David Hyde Pierce, who's that?
the brother on Frasier, Niles?
Oh yeah, kind of like
I always thought that
quiet
if
and
Niles
dorky.
shaved his head a little bit, he
was like indie or hipster,
Yeah.
hipster Niles.
Yeah, Hipster Niles. That's perfect. Hipster Niles. What a good band name.
Ooh.
Hipster Niles. Also, whenever you're a kid, did you ever do that thing that Rob did where like you rearrange your stuff and it just makes you feel better about your life? Like
A little bit.
Dude, I used to be obsessed with rearranging my CDs and like
Oh, really?
yeah, and like just making my room just so always made me feel like better.
I guess I was that way with posters. I would kind
Yeah.
of like rotate the posters.
Yeah.
Like maybe this Luke Perry 90210 poster behind my mirror in the bedroom is not cool anymore. But that Tiffany Amber Thiessen is going to stay.
that will
up there,
always
that's
be
for
cool.
Sure. And Marilyn Manson.
So two things in this movie that I thought were cool that I think are like timeless too are the covers. Peter Frampton's "Baby I Love Your Way."
Yep.
I think that her cover has stood the test of. I think like if she put that out, or anyone put that specific version out,
Right.
it would still do well today.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And Jack Black did a great job with his cover of "Let's Get It On."
Oh my god.
And so yeah,
his voice is just unreal.
I wanted to say it's really hard to do a good cover. I think that if you do like a cover, you've kind of got to make it your own.
Yeah, you got to spin it.
Yeah,
your
you got
own
to spin
way.
it right. You can't do it just perfectly. What else you got? Oh, lastly, sorry, we're in
Yeah,
Fort
go ahead.
Worth. Dickies T-shirt.
Oh yeah, Robert has that amazing Dickies T-shirt.
Yeah, that vintage Dickies T-shirt, and like shout out Fort Worth for being the home of Dickies. So like that kind of tied that back to us. How much do you think Bruce Springsteen got paid for his scene?
Oh my god.
Do you think he did it for free, just for the love of
the
the game, or do you think they had to pay the boss something?
Man, they got a budget. They probably paid him. Yeah, there's probably a couple zeros behind that one.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you this because you are a DJ. Is one of the greatest feelings in the world knowing that a track's going to go before you even press play on the track?
Oh yeah.
I resonated so hard whenever she's like, "This is a really kick-ass record," and he's like, "I know."
Oh.
Because there's so many times as like a DJ where like we spend so much time like digging through music, listening to new music, wanting to like play great songs, and it does constantly fill me with like a sense of joy to find a song or an artist or like a vibe that I really love, and then whenever I play it out, somebody comes up to you and they're
oh
like,
my god, that's
or you
the
see,
best.
the last time I was playing this grand opening, and I just see this young lady sitting in her car just like Shazamming every single song that I'm playing, and I'm just like, I love that. You know what I mean? It makes me feel good that like I like, I don't know. It's a good feeling, especially as a DJ.
I mean, as a DJ, there's so many different feelings. You get that. You get the high from like pulling off a really good mix.
Yeah, good transitions.
Which is really funny. Matty B started cassette tape DJing.
Really?
And
recently?
He has these cassette tape players where you can adjust and move.
Like manually?
It has like a turn wheel, and you can tempo it up. And he told me, he was like, "I see why you guys DJ."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?" He's like, "This feels amazing."
Yeah, it does.
He's like, when you hit it and everybody's dancing, he's like, "That is like, I understand now."
For sure.
He's like, "I finally get it."
I love it. DJing is one of my favorite things to do, and just like, especially songs that like, maybe even songs of friends. Like I know that like, we love Phil, and every time we see him, we try to play Phil Ford Flow, but like showing people stuff that like your friends have done, like stuff that, we've done, or like other friends have done, is just always a good time too.
Yeah. I DJ'd last week. Remember, I did a couple of gigs last week where I played all vinyl. When me and Rene normally DJ together, we use a controller and a like bank of songs basically that we've chosen. I busted out the vinyl. I did it, and that you mentioned that I played a Son of Stan song at my gig.
Yeah,
I have Georgia on a 10-inch vinyl.
I used to do the same thing whenever I was on vinyl, because I didn't have that much vinyl, but I played Ice Eater.
I played Lose Your Mind. Well, yeah, and Ice Eater did a split with Son of Stan.
I played that split a lot.
Yeah,
because it was Noxium on one side, and then what was the other side? Four Tits.
Four Tits. Yeah.
One of the greatest singles of this area, I think.
My God.
One of the most underappreciated singles of this area, I think, is that
and
single.
we recorded it with Alex Bohr. Always and ever, only.
Yeah, man.
He was, man.
Just doing it big.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Alex Bohr.
Yeah, man.
Okay, let's wrap it up. What do you think?
Sure.
So
Whatever you got, man.
Like I said, guys, if y'all have any questions or you want to react to what we're talking about, email me, remindrewindpod@gmail.com. I wanted to show you something that you can hold and describe to our audience.
Okay.
Yeah, this will be cool. Hold on.
I'm going to put it in my hands.
And you can describe to the audience what you are seeing. So the physical media collecting thing is a huge, awesome journey for me. And I just love it so much. Having these tapes and having a collection of all my favorite stuff is really great. But I've also been doing what Renee's holding right now is called, I guess they call it out there, the tape swap.
Mm-hmm. So what I got here is, if you're familiar, one of the old cardboard VHS, not the clamshell, but just the regular old foldable, gluable cardboard VHS cases, and it is
with the plastic shrink
with
around
the
it.
Plastic shrink, and also a nice high quality used tape blowout price $7.98 sticker on it. I love it. It's a copy of High Fidelity, and then Jordan has, he's allowing me to hold this. This is very cool. He swapped out the old school black tape.
Yeah, swapped out the spools of the movie
mm-hmm.
into
this awesome yellow that matches the High Fidelity record cover on the front. He also has a kind of like a meme sticker slash title sticker in the middle. It says High Fidelity, and then it's got a picture of Rob, and in font, the impact font, it says, "Not sure if I listen to pop music because I'm miserable, or if I'm miserable because I listen to pop music," which is one of the lines from the movie. He's got a couple of old vintage stickers, cult classic, "Be Kind, Please Rewind," with a smiley face on it. Man, this thing is
it's just
primo.
It's just a cool way to have your tapes. You know, like if you're gonna have it, you might as well make it.
What's the flick?
What's the flick? Oh, what's the flick? That must be
that should have been the name of your podcast. WTF? What's the flick?
Yeah, it must be the distributor of this, I guess, or some kind of video rental store.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Ian. I'm glad I got to see it in person because I've seen a picture of it online. But
yeah, those are fun. I did a couple of them. I like watching the movies like that. I like having it, showing it to the kids. Might be something I like resell later on or whatever. Yeah. Speaking of reselling, I hit a couple garage sales up this weekend. Couldn't really find anything good. Just some dusty tapes.
Man,
I bought a TI-83 calculator for $1.
I hit so hard.
Yeah.
I got that bike.
Oh my God,
dude! I got a vintage Schwinn Latour for completely the free.
Wow. Just had to walk down the street.
Yeah. Just hanging out on Facebook. Just kind of looking at the social media in the morning, and I saw one of the neighbors had posted that the classic bike for free. Messaged me, and usually when I see stuff like that in my neighborhood group, I always see like comments and messages and stuff like that. I'm just like, this one had no likes, no comments. I immediately hit the DM. I was like, I will come right now. And like 2 minutes later, I was walking down the street.
That's amazing. Yeah, I went to like 6 different garage sales, and I got a TI-83 calculator for $1, and I bought a disco ball for $1.
Yeah,
it's my new song title. Just bought a disco ball for $1.
Love that.
Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening again to Remind Rewind. Again, my name is Jordan Klein. I'll be here every week bringing you another movie, bringing you those nostalgic vibes, watching a movie with you guys, talking about a movie with you guys. And I want to thank Rene, besides my wife, he's my best friend. I called you, I was thinking about it on the way here, Triple B, best friend, business partner, and oh shit, I forgot what the third B is.
Double B's.
Oh, bandmate.
Oh, bandmate. Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm excited to see and listen to this podcast going forward. We kind of partnered up network-wise. I have a podcast called Breakfast of Champions. If you want to check that out, if you're into breakfast foods and violence, we talk about donuts and MMA fights. So check that out anywhere you find podcasts. And thanks for having me. I'm excited to see where this podcast goes. Yeah, and you guys are going to have me soon, right? Of course.
I can't wait.
Yeah, whatever.
Gonna get it all sugar high and drinking some energy, some Mountain Dew.
We might review Waffle House with you.
Oh shit.
or something like that.
Yeah, no Scrapple. I'm good on that.
No. That's for Allie's episode. But thanks, bro. I appreciate it. I love High Fidelity. I love Pot Boy, etc. I love that we were able to do this, and I'm looking forward to it, man.
Right. Thank you so much, Rene, for being here, and thank you guys for listening. I will see you, or you will hear me next week on a brand new episode of Remind, Rewind. Rewind.
Rewind.
Thank you guys.
Bye.